Hi physicists, what's the crack? So today what we're doing is we're going to figure out how can we resolve forces to figure out the acceleration of this box going down the slope. Okay, so again, the first thing I would do was draw a picture so I can image what's happening. So it says I've got a box with mass 2 kilograms. So I'm just going to model the box as like a point particle. So there's my box. It's got a mass of 2 kilograms, so I know the only force is the force pulling it down due to gravity. And I know the equation W equals m times g. Weight is mass times gravity. So if its mass is 2 kilograms, I just do 2 times 9.81 in order to find its weight. Okay. Then it says down it's on a frictionless slope, so I know I can ignore any forces trying to slow it down because there is no friction. And it says calculate the acceleration of the box. So the only force I have, like I said a second ago, is the downward force due to gravity. So I need to figure out what force is actually trying to pull it down the slope, because I know the equation to find acceleration is F equals ma. Again, I know its mass because it's in kilograms, so it's 2 times a, but I need to figure out what is the resultant force on this box. So I must have this number, so I need to look at my picture again to figure out what is the resultant force pulling it down the slope. Okay. The box, let's say it's at 20 degrees angle. Okay, so now I want to figure out what is the force perpendicular and parallel to my slope. Okay, so how I would do it, if that's my 20 degrees angle there, this angle must be 90 degrees. Then this is my triangle. All the numbers have to add up to 180. So then that must mean that this angle is going to be 180 minus 90, which is 90. 90 minus 20 is going to be 70. Okay. And again, I can see another right angle here. So that's how I know that this angle must be 20 degrees. So that's the angle that I'm interested in, that 20 degrees right there. Okay. So how I did it, a quick way to do it, is that if you take your force and you go through the angle, it's always cosine. So cosine 20. And if you take your force and you don't go through the angle, it's kind of like you committed a sin. So like if you're against God, you have a sin. So if you don't go through the angle, you committed a sin, so it's going to be sine of 20. Okay, so maybe just to show that again. So let's say I have a force here, an angle, let's say this time we're at 60 degrees. So if I take my force and I go through the angle, it's always cosine. So that's going to be F cosine 60. If I take my force and I didn't go through the angle, because I didn't go through the angle, I committed a sin, so that one's going to be F sine 60. Okay, so that's just the theory we're applying up here. Okay, so again, the force is going to be 2 times 9.81. So I'm just going to do that quickly in my calculator.